If you've not visited my channel before, then welcome, and if you have, then welcome back. Give a little thumbs up to this video if you like it, and drop a comment in the comments box if you'd like me to answer any questions or if you just want to say hi. Today I wanted to talk about something, and that is Miss Americana on Netflix. If you're not familiar with what Miss Americana is, it's a documentary that the one and only Taylor Swift has brought out very recently, and I have to say it was so inspiring and so amazing and gave quite a lot of insight. So let's get to it. A little bit of background, I'll try not to bore anyone too much. Taylor Swift has probably been one of my favourite people in the industry since I was about 15, 16. I remember watching some very early videos of her on YouTube when she was singing Tim McGraw and White Horse back in the day, and I just loved how different she was to a lot of the artists that I listened to at the time, and a lot of the artists that were in the charts at the time. And I just remember thinking that they were great songs to sing to, and as a singer that's always a great thing. And I also felt myself being able to relate to every single lyric in every single song that she had. When I was a teenager, I was even more dramatic than I am now. And of course, I loved a quote and a lyric, and things spoke to me all the time. And so if I heard a certain lyric that related to a certain circumstance or person in my life, I would be all over that. So Taylor Swift was literally like my icon back then. She literally wrote her own songs and she played guitar and she was beautiful, and she just didn't care what anyone thought. She just put her stamp on the music industry. She's such a worldwide, massive, huge celebrity now, and she's someone that a lot of young girls could definitely look up to. So I feel that Miss Americana was something that we needed. We as Taylor Swift fans, we deserve this, because I love a documentary as well on a celebrity. I love the Lady Gaga one and the classic Katy Perry. Oh my god, I loved the Katy Perry one. It used to literally make me cry. So yeah, Miss Americana, when I saw that hit Netflix, I was literally like, ah, yes! So I made some notes in my lovely notebook here. Bit of Disney as usual. So I just wanted to share with you my thoughts on this, and if you haven't watched it, go and watch it, especially if you love Taylor Swift, because you will love this. The documentary is an hour and 25 minutes long, and it squashes quite a lot into the hour and 25 minutes, but I do feel personally that it focuses more on now and kind of what's brought her to everything that she is now, and with the Lover album and things like that. But it does touch on a few childhood things and obviously how she rose to fame. And personally that was my favourite part, because I love to see the beginnings of things, and I like to see how people got to where they are and how they went about it. It actually made me really reflect on my own life and my own kind of work ethic and stuff. So it's very inspirational for anyone who is younger and is thinking about getting into the industry in any avenue of it. It's very real in the fact that it takes a lot of hard work to be successful. I know that's kind of patronising and a bit like stating the obvious. So it shows you a few little scenes of when she was 13. I've seen a couple of these things before from just being a massive literal stalker fan of Taylor Swift growing up, but there was a few things that I hadn't seen, and it showed you when she was literally 13, playing a guitar, writing her own songs. She was just so confident. She had such an air about her at that age as well, and she would just literally go to every talent show and just showcase these songs that she'd written, and they were just as good as the songs that she writes now. Personally, I love that country feel. I love her roots. I love everything she was about back in the day. It's nice to see that she just went with what she wanted to be. She's got a very supportive family. They all moved to Nashville for her. She was practically banging on Sony Records' door. If there's a message in this part of the documentary for anyone out there, it is be your authentic self and go for what you want, knock down those doors and say, here I am. It literally had a little flash to her friendship with Abigail, and I love her friendship with Abigail. It's so true and so pure and authentic, and I think that to be the massive celebrity that you are, that's world famous and has so many people that just love and adore her, I think it's just so special to see that she still has a childhood friend that she's so close to. It gives you all the feels, basically. So it also shows the albums that she released when she was 16, and when Fearless came out, and then obviously it was Speak Now, and the tours that she went on, and it showed how she literally shot to fame. And I loved her early stuff purely because it wasn't embellished, and it didn't need any embellishment. It just needed a guitar or a piano and a voice and a story. And Taylor Swift, I just love how she is so known for just telling a story through a song so vividly. There was not one song on an album of hers that I did not relate to. And of course she was well known for writing songs about guys. That's kind of niche, like just to kind of stick to that. And there was a lot of like, she got a lot of ridicule for it, but also a lot of praise for it. Even if it doesn't mention a specific guy, you can kind of tailor her songs to what, Taylor? Oh my god, I just did another pun. Oh my goodness, I keep doing puns like this without realising. I did it on my last video. It can be tailored to anything, so she could be singing about revenge on a guy, but you could kind of make it relevant in your life, like revenge on someone else or on a situation, and it didn't have to be about a guy. That probably didn't make sense. It made sense in my head. So a lot of the documentary was about how she kind of rose and then hit this point in her career where everyone kind of turned against her. And so it kind of shows that how easily you could be famous and have everything, but how quickly one comment or one little thing could literally turn that all around and hinder a lot of your career, and how it's hard to bounce back, and how that celebrities are still humans and they have, you know, mental health just as much as anyone else, and that needs to be protected in a way. And this documentary really lays it out bare and how much it did affect Taylor when she had a lot of backlash. Going back to even 2009 when Kanye West came on the stage and said about the whole Beyonce video, and you could see from the sheer like shock on her face just how shook she was about that. She kind of goes into detail about how damaging that was. She's supposed to be on top of the world receiving this award, and then someone kind of just stamps all over it. It shows you like a window into their world and how it's not everything that it's perceived to be. And that's why I think documentaries like this are really important, especially for our younger generation now, so that people can see that it's not all the glamour that it appears to be. I've got a lot of feelings and opinions on this. So when Taylor brought out Reputation, I personally wasn't a massive fan of this album, even though I think as an artist it's very important that you move with the times. And she even explains this in the documentary, that you kind of have to move with where the music industry is going in order to stay relevant and to stay on top and to win those awards. She does talk a lot on how she no longer was doing things for herself, she was kind of doing things for what she thought people wanted her to be. After the Kanye West thing re-emerged, where he did that song that mentioned that Taylor Swift was a beep. I don't know if I can say that word on YouTube. But yeah, Taylor Swift was a bitch, and obviously there was that recording of her kind of giving him permission to have her in the song, but it was never proven that she allowed him to call her that. It mentions in the documentary that there was a hashtag going around, Taylor Swift is over party or something like that, where it was literally everyone saying that she was fake and that she was a liar and that she was not a victim. And obviously that can be so mentally damaging, especially when it's so out of your control. She mentions as well that obviously with all that backlash and social media stuff, it becomes more about how you come across to people and just about how you look and who you are. She makes a point about it becoming less and less about the music. Then she also said this quote, which I thought was quite touching. When people fall out of love with you, there's nothing you can do to make them change their mind. They just don't love you anymore. And that's when she decided to disappear, because there was nothing she could physically do to change the world's mind in that point, so she would have to let it blow over and then reinvent herself. And I feel like this must have been a time in Taylor's life where she didn't really know what direction to take, and it did become more about the image over the music, which is why I personally felt that when she came back with Reputation. This is just my personal opinion. I didn't have that same like enthusiasticness about that album as I did for all her previous ones. And I know that she was kind of trying to move with the times like I talked about earlier, but I did feel like she was doing it to fit in and not stand out anymore, and that was sad. Although Look What You Made Me Do was a banger, and I have to say I very much enjoyed that song, and I feel like that was a great comeback song, because one thing I really admire about Taylor Swift is she's not afraid to like not take herself too seriously, and it's a kind of like if you can't beat them, join them sort of thing. Made a statement of saying, oh, look what you made me do now, you made me drop this record and just make a comeback. So, you know, when she brought Lover out, I was like, this is more Taylor. It's still like moved on in terms of the time, like what people vibe with, but it was still had that, it's still got that essence of Taylor. Like, and I think even the colour scheme, this is me getting deep now, but if you look at the colour schemes of her album, she's always been quite vibrant, she's always been quite colourful, whereas Reputation was very black and white, and I just didn't feel like that was her. again, personal opinion. Also, it shows a few of her Reputation songs where she's just singing them with a guitar, and I loved them. I just think they just sound so much better without any kind of synthesized music or like random beats and riffs just to keep it modern. It just sounds so much better stripped back on guitar, so yeah. But then when she brought back Lover and it had like those beautiful pinks and blues and whites and purples, I was like, yeah, this is so much more Taylor. And like even her music videos and everything, they were very like colourful and everything was like lovely and like pastel-y and great. Her ability to songwrite is incredible. She can literally write a bop in a day. She can literally just hum a little tune or a little riff and it's great. So I love the fact that she is just so motivated. It shows her in the studio all the time, like constantly writing, constantly trying new things, collaborating with people, working with people to constantly make her music better. And it shows just how much hard work goes into this and how much she doesn't rely on other people to do it for her. She's so good at just putting a song together and having that authentic storyline going through it as well. She's a great storyteller through music, and I think that is such a talent. Also, she touches a little bit on like eating disorders, the fact that she felt fat in photos. She said she saw a picture of herself where she felt her belly didn't look quite as flat, so she starved herself. And I think it's so bad how people did comment on her putting weight on, but she looks amazing. She is banging. Like, there's no doubt about the fact that Taylor Swift is a beautiful human being, and it doesn't matter what size she is. And it's good that she was aware that it could have been a potential health hazard, so I think it gives a good message across again to the younger generation. She also uses her platform to talk about politics. I'm not massive on politics. She does so well because she wants to kind of like stand up for everything she believes in with equality, LGBTQ+, women's rights, sexual harassment, because she touched on sexual harassment that she actually experienced herself, which if you watch the documentary, you'll be able to see all about that. I just think it's great how she used her platform to try and spread the word about young people voting, and uses everything she can to try and not let Donald Trump be in power, and also Marsha Blackburn. She obviously disagreed with everything that she stood for. She just fights for women's rights and equality, and it's just great to see her doing that as well and not being afraid to have that voice for so many people that don't have that platform that she does. So that was amazing as well. If you haven't watched Miss Americana yet, I suggest that if you are a massive fan of Taylor and all her music and all that she is, this will just make you fall even more in love with her. The Lover album is wonderful, and I really loved You Need to Calm Down as well. I loved how she was basically saying to all the people that are negative, just calm down and be quiet. You're being too loud. We don't need this kind of negativity in our lives. We just want equal rights, and we want to celebrate each other, and we want to celebrate diversity. We want to literally celebrate everyone in the world, and we're going to do it with all this colour and glamour and joy and excitement. And I just love that about her. People in the industry were always constantly being told to have thicker skin, and it's hard because being a performer or a creative of any kind, we naturally have thinner skin because we are naturally more sensitive and emotional. We can temporarily get thicker skin, but there's always going to be things that really do pierce through that armour that we try to put over ourselves. So another quote that I wrote down, because funnily enough I was thinking this and then she kind of said this quote and it confirmed all my thoughts, and I was like, it's like the universe just jumped on that because I was literally just thinking it then. Taylor Swift ended the documentary walking out on that stage as she does in those glittery dresses, just bringing all the sass. Spoiler alert, I want to still have a sharp pen and a thin skin and an open heart. And I'm like, I feel that. That touched me. I love that. I thought, yeah, so that should be a message to everyone out there. The pen could be a metaphor for any kind of form of expression. Keep it sharp, keep your thin skin because that's what makes you you. Keep an open heart because the world is full of such negativity and resentment, and I keep knocking my clip out, sorry. And just bad things. Be nice to people. Positivity breeds positivity. It's nice to be nice. And Taylor Swift, she will always be the nice girl, but she'll always stand for so much more as well. Like, she's so strong, she's so independent, she's so driven and motivated. She deserves nothing but pure love and admiration and adoration. And on that note, I'm gonna go. If you are a die-hard Taylor Swift fan like myself, you will love it. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed. Go and watch Miss Americana on Netflix. I'm sure you won't be disappointed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of my videos. I recently did a video all about childhood movies I want to see on stage as musicals. Give that a click in the link below in the description box, and I'll see you very soon.